Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy Rodney383, Anime Real Talk TV, and today I got my boy with me, DPZ.
Hey guys, what's up?
Another guest on here, and you're gonna be seeing, a lot of the guests quite frequently. So, without further ado, let's get into today's video. And today we're talking about Injustice: Gods Among Men. And you're thinking, like, didn't we already talk about? No, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But we did not go in depth. We did not get in there. We did not go deep enough. So we're going a little deeper. And if you haven't watched Deadpoolzilla's channel, he has a lot of cool ideas. He thinks outside of the box. So I think this will be, really different than our previous video. And, you can watch both and get different stuff out of it. So without further ado, let's go. Now, what do you want to talk about first?
Just in general, like how brutal the gameplay is. Like I've been rewatching some of the trailers. I'm like, God damn. It does look hardcore. They did confirm that this is going to be a T-rated game. That's the thing. But they're going to push it. Ed Boon said they're going to push the T rating.
Now, Mortal Kombat, that's an adult rating, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an adult, so we know what adult is through Mortal Kombat. We know what that is, splitting people in half.
And I think it's because the reason why it's not M-rated was because Warner Brothers, like in Mortal Kombat versus DC, said none of the DC, like Superman and Batman, they can't kill. So, but Ed Boon said, but you can't. They didn't say anything about Superman throwing someone in the atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, cause in the comics, like, occasionally, people get killed and stuff, with DC in particular. But the stories are just as enjoyable, even though Batman goes out of his way not to kill the majority of his villains, and Superman does the same thing. And that doesn't take away from the story being enjoyable. So I would think that you could get that brutal gratification out of a game, even though you're not ripping someone's head off.
Exactly, and it does, like, some of the finishing moves, like Grundy pulling that tombstone out of his stomach and smashing over Wonder Woman's head.
That's cool.
One of the things I was really surprised at is that some of this stuff, like in the gameplay, we saw Batman punching Grundy through a building, and I think in one of the interviews they said all the gameplay for all the characters is different because it's not really the same moves you can do. Basic moves like throw somebody, it's always a different throw move.
Yeah, because Ed Boon did talk about, like, there is logic to it, to why they can do certain stuff. And he even said, like, man, sometimes you just want to say, it's just a video game. But, he knows people want more of an explanation. And he says, yes, there is an explanation as to why Batman can do what he can do. Certain characters are going to have gadgets or certain attributes, so it will make sense in the context of the game, even though if it doesn't make sense right now when you watch the trailer.
I'm really excited, like the whole gadgets and superpowers. I wonder if that's going to tie into the story, because they did say this game will have a story, and I'm wondering if this is going to be like, you ever heard of, Rodney, you ever heard of the story called, the DC story called Kingdom Come?
Yes, I'm reading it now. I'm on the second issue.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of like a superhero civil war in an alternate universe, and I'm wondering if they're basing some of that off of it, because from what I got from the trailer is that it's everybody versus everybody.
Also, as we touched on in the previous video, the character designs, the costumes and stuff, of course, probably changeable, downloadable costumes and stuff, but the versions that they go with are, reminiscent of the New 52, so it's kind of like you're going the New 52 route in terms of aesthetics, but you might be telling like an old school story.
Yeah, the whole 52 universe look was, I kind of expected it. But on the other hand, you could get alternate costumes. Like one costume I really want to see for Superman is the Batman Beyond Superman costume. I think that'd be fucking awesome.
So I take it that's your favorite one, the Batman Beyond Superman.
I like that one. Same with Kingdom Come Superman, but I'd really like to see. You ever heard of Superman Red Sun?
Yes.
That would be another cool alternate costume, and of course the classic would be cool as well, or maybe even from the DC animated universe, Justice Lord Superman costume.
Never seen that, but I had to look that one
up. It's a white and blue costume with a red symbol.
Okay, cool. And I would think that because this is DC's, they're doing that, all solo, no, mixed properties here, that they can just go all out on the properties in terms of like all the costumes, all of the stuff, but then that leads into the whole, are you gonna nickel and dime us for, the alternate costume from
Oh,
Kingdom Come,
I don't doubt it. I mean, that's where a lot of the money is these days with video games, is the DLCs. That's how Capcom got a lot of their money from if I remember right, they got a lot of money from the DLC costumes but not the characters because of Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, you could just buy one and not the other, and buy the Ultimate Marvel, get all the characters. But I believe the newer game had more costumes, and then your old costumes didn't work in the new game. But I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure they had new costumes that you can't get in the older game.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, nickel and dime. Let's go. So what else? In terms of characters, now we touched on a couple. I'm not as well versed in this, but you have some interesting additions to this game. What do you think about it?
I had a lot of picks in my head. Um, I think they officially confirmed Luthor for the game, but one of them I really want to see is Black Manta.
Ah, cool. Now you can't have Black Manta, of course, without his arch nemesis Aquaman.
Exactly, and Aquaman's another one, and I mean, I already know, and a lot of us comic book fans out there, we know Aquaman is a badass, but I think this would be a perfect way to show this isn't your super friends Aquaman.
Yeah, it was kind of cheese back then. He was the butt of that whole show. He was the people didn't really take him serious. So, definitely in the new 52 comics, from what I hear, he's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and he's always been cool. I mean, unless you count the Silver Age stuff, but he's always been a cool character to me. One of my favorites, even before Jeff Johns took over the Aquaman books. I loved a lot of the stuff they did with him in the '90s, and a lot of the stuff we did with him in the Justice League. But Aquaman's always been just a favorite of mine, and Manta's always been one of my favorite DC supervillains because this guy, he's just evil. Like before the 52, he murdered Aquaman's newborn son, and he was only a year old.
So he is indeed an asshole, just to be certainly clear about this.
Yeah, he is Aquaman's greatest enemy for a reason, because he just hate. There were even points where he's like, "I just hate you because I hate you.
I hate your guts and everything you stand for."
Yeah.
What is his power? Can he do what Aquaman does? I don't know anything about the character.
He's military trained. He's a mercenary. He's an expert in explosives, hand-to-hand combat, as well as Atlantean combat. He sold his soul to the devil. He got it back, but for a short time he had demon powers. And that suit he wears enhances his strength, and it's pretty much bulletproof. That helmet allows him to project pretty much kind of like Cyclops' optic blasts. And he's an expert swordsman and sharpshooter.
Okay, when you say expert, he's military trained. Do you mean Atlantis military or?
He's human.
Oh, is it? I thought he was he got gills and shit, like he can swim and stuff. And DC not only has the iconically DC heroes, but they also have other universes like interlinked with DC, like Wildstorm and stuff like that. So, like, who else are you looking forward to seeing, or possibly them putting in the game?
The Wildstorm comics don't exist anymore, but now that they're part of DC, and this is a long shot, but I would definitely love to see these two characters called Midnighter and Apollo.
Okay. Cool.
They're these two powerhouses. I mean, Midnighter he's a master hand-to-hand fighter, but the cool thing about him is that when he looks at you, like, it could even be a glance, and he can basically think up 500 ways to kill somebody in under a second.
Okay, so he just that nice.
And the thing is that when he thinks it, he can do it. Like, he'll send you a card that says, "I know how to kill you in about 300 different ways." kill yourself or I'm coming to get you.
So he's kind of like a probability person. He maps out all his possible angles of attack, and he can choose whichever one he
Yeah,
please.
like he knows how, you know how like they always say Batman, he can beat anybody just by thinking it. This guy can actually do it.
That's pretty cool. What about Apollo?
Apollo is this another superpowered character. He's kind of based off of Superman, and Apollo he can basically absorb the sun's solar radiation like Superman, but he can project it in these energy beams. Not only that, he's incredibly strong. Like, I'd even wager this guy is stronger than Superman.
Okay. Yeah. I would like to see Blue Beetle too.
Which one?
Um
The new one?
yeah, the Jaime
Yeah,
Reyes.
he's my favorite Blue Beetle. I like the previous one, Ted Cord, but Jaime is my Beetle.
Yeah, because I just think it could be it's cool to see him seamlessly transition between forms, like, Blaster, he come up and punch you, his hand turn big and then it retract back to small, then just all of the little mechanical things that the Beetle can do on the fly with the suit would look like pretty cool to see. Me and another commenter were talking about in the last video, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty sweet right there.
Yeah, he would be pretty cool. Like, just the weapons the Scarab can do, from a energy sword to, he can basically read technology itself. It's limitless what he could do. A lot of another character I'd really like to see, and I bet you he will be in this game, is Deathstroke.
Yeah, well, he was in the last game, so it makes sense that he'll be in it, even though they're different games. But the last game, DC signed off on him to be on it, so it would probably be a sure thing.
Ed Boon is apparently a huge fan of him. Like, he really wanted Deathstroke in Mortal Kombat versus DC, and they put him in the Arkham game, the Arkham City game they did for the iPad. So there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be in there. What's another pick for you?
Well, I did notice a couple of things in a couple of the more recent trailers, and in the back of one of the levels when they're fighting, you can see a Yellow Lantern symbol. So my speculation would be that there are going to be other lanterns in here, colored lanterns. Even though we didn't even see a Green Lantern, I think there will be colored lanterns in this game, which is pretty awesome. We already talked about a couple of the main ones, Atrocitus or something like that. But the lantern possibilities would be kind of endless, To beef up the female side, you can get some Star Sapphire in there. You can get what's the chick from the Indigo tribe? She's badass. She has like a staff.
Yeah.
I guess she's the leader. Pretty awesome. Just for the female sake, get her in there. I would love to see a not animated, but CGI Hawk Girl in the game. I think that would be awesome to see her swinging a mace, knocking people up. Like, I think that would be like badass.
Yeah, that would be cool. Another female character I'd like to see is Black Canary.
Yeah.
She's one of the best female hand-to-hand fighters in the DC universe. And she's got the Canary Cry, which pretty much emits this sonic wave out of her mouth. And it's pretty much devastating. I'd like to see even Poison Ivy.
Yeah, well, I never thought of Poison Ivy as a hand-to-hand combat fighter, though. But it would be interesting to see how she could use her environment, make, whatever level, make plants come up and grab you and hold on to you and stuff. I mean, it could be pretty slick.
Another one I'd like to see, Killer Croc.
Yes. Yeah, let's go. Killer Croc. I would like to see that. Now, are you satisfied with the Arkham City look or Arkham Asylum?
I like the Arkham Asylum look. I've kind of resigned to the fact that but I'd like, if I could have any say in this game for Injustice, if he's in the game, shrink him down a bit. Don't make him look like he's gonna go fight the Hulk. Like, shrink him down to like maybe Grundy's height,
So he was bigger than Grundy?
No, I got it mixed up. Make him like as maybe just a foot taller than Batman.
I can see what you're saying because he's actually a person,
Yeah,
right? So, you know, it's only so huge a person could get,
yeah.
you know.
It was a skin condition, but it mutated him.
Science, science. Let's
Yeah.
go. So, it's pretty cool. I would also like let's talk about something that we didn't talk about on the last video was stages. And I would like to see some pretty cool stages. Now, they're gonna have lanterns on there. There's no reason for them not to have them on
Yeah.
there. And speaking of lanterns, I wouldn't be surprised because of the new 52 that they'll put Adam Scott in here. But I'm not really hyped for the character or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised neither. But you never know. That Ed Boon, I think, said in one of the interviews he wants a big cast.
Now let's go on to, the stages, and I think Oa would be fucking awesome. Like if you make a stage of Oa, have, Lantras flying around in the background, just whizzing around while you're fighting. I think that would be slick. Have the Guardians, like, I'm talking
Yeah.
interactive, you know. On this angle, you can see the Guardians back there, but then you get knocked over to the other side, and then you see Sinestro training somebody or Kilowog. I think it would be cool.
That would be awesome. Definitely you could do that. Like maybe even like one stage you could actually throw somebody into the central power battery.
Kind of like how they got on Mortal Kombat when you can, I guess, the fatality. You grab them and throw them into like the furnace or hit them with a car or something like that. That would be slick.
Another place like this is another Lantern homeworld, like the planet Riot. That's the home of the Red Lantern Corps. Riot has these things called blood pits. These blood pits, if you go in them, it can either do one or two things: make you a Red Lantern in some ways, or drive you insane to the point where you want to kill yourself.
So you got to be truly evil to even survive it, and even after that, you'll be a Red
Well,
Lantern.
even then, even Red Lanterns, only Atrocitus and only four other Red Lanterns have survived. Because it basically, the water, the blood water in there, is so, it contains all memories of your past life. And when you're a Red Lantern, you're just a mindless animal. But when you get all those memories back all at once, it could drive you insane.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, if you have an Aquaman in there, I want to be fighting in a dome with like aquarium creatures all around, whales and sea demons all around it.
Like Atlantis?
Yeah, like in the throne room of Atlantis, like with, you know, maybe Aquaman's wife is sitting on a throne watching him fight or something like that. Whatever. Just like how Shao Kahn or Goro is sitting down in some of the Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
levels. That would be cool to see. Especially, in HD, like the beauty of like the aquarium. I mean, not aquarium there in the ocean, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Just it, like you could just sit back and watch that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be awesome as well.
Here's another stage I got. How about Apocalypse?
Now that's like a lot of volcanoes and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
like maybe you could be fighting in Darkseid's throne room and have like Shao Kahn, Darkseid sitting there watching.
That's pretty cool. Them red eyes just, glaring. It could be slick, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So stage wise, hey, get creative. Ed Boon. Ed Boon. Let's
Yeah,
go.
maybe for like in Apocalypse, you punch him through the wall and send him flying into one of those fire pits.
In thinking of that, like I'm wondering if that's too adult for the game. You know what I'm saying? I guess, I would love to have something like that, but if you're not killing, I guess, I don't know what's up with that. So we'll have to see how they wing
Yeah.
it. I guess it's not so much as I'm throwing you in this pit. It's that in Mortal Kombat, for instance, when I throw you in the pit, your bones come out and they're stripped of all your flesh, so you see the aftermath.
Maybe like if they do that, you can just punch him in the pit, and all you hear is the fire going higher and someone screaming, and that's it.
Anything else you wanted to add to it?
Like other stages, maybe New Genesis. That's the home of the New Gods.
Never heard of that, but I'm sure that's pretty awesome. What's up with that world? Is it?
It's the home of Apocalypse is the home of the evil gods, led by Darkseid. New Genesis is the home of the good gods, like Highfather and Orion.
Star constellation name
Yeah,
gods, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Um, I think another cool place would be the Titans headquarters, the Teen Titans headquarters.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, speaking of Titans, we probably could use a couple in here. I believe one of the commenters said Raven, and I think she would be cool to like I like the hooded dark type characters like when they get their power going, all you can see is the hood and the eyes. You can't see no facial feature. I like that type of stuff. So, but and Cyborg too, I don't know. I'm not really a Cyborg fan per se. I don't like him or not like him. He's just whatever. But, maybe if Titans are involved, he needs to
Yeah.
be in there, I would
And
say.
I guarantee you that maybe Cyborg might be in the game because DC really wants to hype him up now.
Mhm.
So
That's what it seems like,
yeah, so so
So,
maybe Cyborg. I like Cyborg, but I'm not one of his. He's not one of my favorite characters.
mhm.
Another Titan I was thinking about was maybe Starfire.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of these people never seen the game before, and if they use the model of Marvel's Capcom 3 and start bringing in like just the not even obscure, but just characters that have earned a spot in a game, Iron Fist, what? Iron Fist? Like you just, you did that? So, if they just bring them characters in that actually are fan favorites, it'd be too great.
Yeah,
Another thing that I wanted to now I haven't been able to tell from the gameplay that I've seen so far, but is it a 2D or a 2.5D game, or is it sidestepping? You know what I'm saying? So I can't tell if it's one or the other. I like the Mortal Kombat style. It complicates things a little less. Not that it's complicated, but I kind of like that style. I wouldn't complain if it was the other way around though. But what do you think about it? Which when you play fighting games, what do you prefer? Sides like the 2D, or the 3D, moving all around the stage in a circle.
I'm not really picky. I like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Street Fighter, but I do like games like Soul Calibur and Tekken that allows you to move around the field. And this game looks like it's going to be like the new Mortal Kombat game where it's just going to be side scrolling. That's what it looks like so far.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much exhausted my knowledge set. So anything outside of that, I have no knowledge of on any level. You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty much it. I mean, the story, we don't know much about the story other than it looks like everyone's going to beat the shit out of everybody. And all I know is who's writing it is these two guys, Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti, who they've done a lot of comic books, like really graphic and really gory comics. They've done this really awesome run on Jonah Hex.
Now, in your expert opinion, and by expert, I mean it because your imagination is unparalleled. You do a segment on fan art that just take the fan art and then you try to pick up a story. Now, from what you've seen of the game, what is your explanation? You being knowledgeable in the realm of DC Comics, what is your possibility of a story? How will they weave it together? Not that we need one, but hey, if they're gonna put it in there, what do you think it is?
I think it's gonna be the superheroes have done something that has made them public enemy number one, and all the heroes are kind of being turned on one another, kind of like in Marvel Civil War.
I can see Batman and Superman taking opposing sides.
Even though how close friends they are, I mean they have very different views. And
Yeah.
but again, this is just me speculating, is that it could be something like the Marvel Civil War or something like that, because even the villains are involved, and we don't know what side they're going to be playing for. It could be something like maybe the villains are manipulating the superheroes, or who can say? All it said is in the trailers, it said like, "What if our greatest heroes were our greatest enemy?" So it could be a number of things.
Yeah, it could be pretty cool, because in Mortal Kombat, and yes, we're gonna keep referencing it, because they move the same, but in Mortal Kombat, I was shocked, kind of, not even shocked, but just pleasantly surprised at the story depth that they had in there. Like you could play Mortal Kombat 9 and get basically a full rundown of the history of the characters, which I thought was pretty awesome. Even characters who were special unlock characters like Rain, Smoke, Noob. They were all like specials. Like you had to like unlock them characters, or it was weird. But they flushed them characters out, and that was something I didn't know. I didn't have that extensive knowledge that they were given in Mortal Kombat 9, and they could do that
Yeah,
here.
and hell, if they can work in a way that didn't sound completely stupid, like how they worked in Kratos and Freddy Krueger,
Uh huh.
then why not? I'm pretty sure, especially with the writing team they have writing for the script, I have complete faith in them. But yeah, I mean they really know how to run down and flush out characters like that you said in just one game. They gave you the entire history of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, you could really get a high caliber story out of this if they play it right.
Yeah, and I don't doubt it. Like apparently Ed Boon is a DC fanboy, so
We'll see. So, in essence, he's probably working on his dream
it
job.
it could be. I mean, this is something that I think this is something the crew of NetherRealm Studios really wanted to do because I liked Mortal Kombat versus DC. I liked the idea of it, but it was just a good. It was good. It was okay to me, but I didn't love it like as much as I wanted to.
Have you played Mortal Kombat 9?
Yeah, I have.
Do you prefer that better, like mechanics wise and stuff like that, over MK versus DC?
Yeah,
Excellent, excellent discussion. We've expanded for you guys. We've expanded with guests and topics. So yes, show us love. Show us love. So yeah, this is Rodney 33. Holla at your boy.
and this is Deadpoolzilla.
And we will see you guys next time, very soon, in fact. So yeah, peace.